Shalom, shalom, Israel. It's your brother, Dar Gabar, with another short lesson. I want to give all praises and all glory and all honor to the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Yahweh is the Most High God, and Yahweh Shai is who the world ignorantly calls Jesus the Christ. I want to give double honors for the elders that have been paving the way. Starting with Abba Bibbins on down, all the elders that's in all these different camps that have been teaching sincerely the doctrine of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And definitely, I want to give double honors to the elders in Great Millstone, starting with Elders Tahar on down, that have been teaching the sincere milk, the parables, the dark sayings, and the prophecies to the best of their ability. Lord willing, the Most High have mercy on the other men and women in this faith, right, in this walk, right, that we can continue to keep enduring. Lord willing, He wake up the other hopeful elect that is asleep. Salaki. So this little lesson is really going into Kanye West's video with Lex Fredman. Lord willing, it can be edifying, to you. You could take little points out of this lesson, but just hear closely what Kanye West said, that we should just forget our past. Because if we forget our past, we can't call ourselves Israelites no more, right? So let's get into it.
Then we weren't. We were the people that Moses freed. And when we talk about, have you heard black people talk about 400 years of slavery? Mm-hmm. All right. That is and we're having this history lesson, right?
I thought history doesn't matter. You're exploring ancient history and drawing deep wisdom from it. And at the same time saying we need to forget all of it. We need to put that behind us.
Absolutely. We need to forget it and we need to move forward.
So I do not agree. The only way we can move forward is if we know the past. If you got the New Living, not the New Living, but if you got the Study King James Bible, in the beginning of 1 Corinthians chapter 10, the intro of the lesson, I believe from verse 1 to 5, actually, yeah, probably verse 1 to 5 is dealing with learn from your past. Right? So verse 1 in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, it says, moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant. Right? So first and foremost, we just heard with Kanye, we shouldn't be ignorant from everything we about to hear. How that all our fathers were under the cloud and all passed through the sea. Now, before I keep going, it was something that Kanye West said earlier, because we like a lot of our kids is being indoctrinated in school. He felt like we shouldn't even teach that type of education. We should just teach engineering, because people been writing and using their own perspective, right? But in the same way, the Bible is so accurate, because none of us will fully know who the Israelites is if the Lord didn't put the Spirit on people to write and read, right? So we will have to know our past to know our fathers was under the cloud. So he just described a little before I started the video. He was going into that he was calling us Africans, but he was trying to he made a difference with saying we were with the Egyptians, but Moses only freed the Israelites. So we wouldn't really be the same people. You know what I'm saying? So he was in that right history. But if he was to say more, like, because as soon as I started the video, you didn't hear nothing else about it, because he didn't go further, but further in depth, we would have to know that he freed us, he took us out of Egypt. But what else happened? The Lord split the Red Sea. That as soon as we left Egypt, it wasn't end all be all. And it says, and all passed through the sea. We would have to know what the Lord had Moses do, like what the Lord did through Moses by splitting the sea, and then the Lord drowned the Egyptians. It says, for we all, Salaki, verse 2, and we're all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and did all eat the same spiritual meat, right? You would have to know what happened after we left Egypt, all the way going into Leviticus, I believe the 14th chapter, and you could go all the way to Numbers. We murmured about damn near everything. You know what I'm saying? You would have to know about this. We would have to know when the Lord had fed us, man, from nothing. Verse 4, and did all drink the same spiritual drink. For they that drink of that spiritual rock, and Hamashiach Yahushai is that rock, that followeth them, and that rock was Hamashiach Yahushai. So in this even let you know that Christ was here. Through the Spirit, Christ was already here. Yo, the Lord has power to do whatever he wants. We should want to know from this. I'm going to see if I can find this other verse. Because I ain't going to lie, Kanye West, he wildin'. He wildin' on that part. I don't know if this is it. Oh, yeah. You know what? I'm going to just read this. Should I read the whole beginning? We can start at verse 9. It says, then their God commanded them to depart from the place where they sojourned, and to go into the land of Canaan, where they dwelt, and were increased by gold and silver, and with very much cattle. But when a famine covered all the land of Canaan, because if you know the Bible, how did Israel get into Egypt? Because it was a famine in Canaan, and through prophecy, what Joseph had told his brothers that he would go high and they would be low. But it counted for that same moment when they was coming up trying to get, hey, but look, through the whole time, Egypt is the headquarter for that whole land in that area. But when it came to a drought, a famine, they had to go to Egypt to go get crop. But you would have to know this in your past to even know who you is. If we want to forget the past, how you going to know your roots? People think that living life is just whatever you make it. We still waiting on the Lord. But when you really think about it, is the Lord waiting on us? We not waiting on him, because the Lord want us to walk the narrow. So I'm going to say it again. It said, but when a famine covered all the land of Canaan, they went down into Egypt and sojourned there, while they nourished and became there a great multitude. So when we went into Egypt, after, some time, we became a great multitude, so that one could not number their nation. Therefore, the king of Egypt rose up against them, because after Joseph died, it says that, the new Pharaoh didn't know Joseph. He don't know Joseph. He don't know the deal that the old Pharaoh had with Joseph, and dealt subtly with them, and brought them low with laboring and brick, building the twin tower, not the twin tower, Salaki, building the pyramid, building the damn Pharaoh face. We was building the infrastructure of Egypt. It made them slaves, and they cried unto their power, unto their God, and he smote all the land of Egypt with incurable plagues. And the only way they could be curable or taken away is by Moses speaking to the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Right? It says, and he smote all the land of Egypt with the incurable plagues. So the Egyptians cast them out of their sight, and God dried the Red Sea before them. He split it. And it says, and brought them to Mount Sinai and Kadesh Barnea, Salaki, and cast forth all that dwelt in the wilderness. So they dwelt in the land of the Amorites, and they destroyed by their strength, all them of Esbon, and passing over Jordan, they possessed all the hill country. And you will have to read the book of Joshua to understand that the Lord split the river. The Lord split the river for the 12 tribes of Israel, right? We would have to go in our past to know these things. This is not something you just walk away from. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. Because I can't remember the chapter off heart. It was before 7. Let me see. 12. Wait. So I think this is it. Okay. Chapter 4, verse 1. And it came to pass when all the people were clean passed over Jordan, that Yahweh Shema Shai spake unto Joshua, saying, take you 12 men out of the people, out of every tribe of man, and command. Wait, was it a stone? Oh yeah, that's the stone. So we would probably have to back up a little more, so you can see when they crossed the Jordan. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, so I'll just start at verse 1 so you can get the whole understanding. You know what I'm saying? So Joshua, the 3rd chapter, the 1st verse is saying, Joshua rose early in the morning, and they removed from Chittim and came to Jordan, he and all the children of Israel, and lodged there before they passed. Yo, and another thing about your past is going to let you know the beginning plot of who the Lord is dealing with. So it's no other nation in Israel without the Lord saying Israel and such, so you would know. But the Lord is saying Israel. All of their possessions and whoever is with them this is gonna happen to them. Or they gonna cross the Red Sea, and I'm gonna split it, and then the Jordan, and then I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do that. So we have to know that this is the history of what was going on with Israel in the book of Joshua. And lodged there before they passed over. And it came to pass that after 3 days that the officers went through the host, and they commanded the people, saying, when ye see the ark of the covenant of Yahweh Shema Shai, your power, and the priests of the Levites bearing it, right? So the Levites in today modern would be the Haitians. Then ye shall remove your place, which shall remove from your place, and go after it. Yet there shall be a space between you and it, about 2,000 cubits by water. Come not near unto it, that ye may know the way by which ye must go, for ye have not passed this way heretofore. And Joshua said unto the people, sanctify yourselves. Sanctify can mean approve, right? For tomorrow Yahweh Shema Shai will do wonders among you. And Yahweh Shai spake unto the priest, saying, take up the ark of the covenant and pass over before the people. And they took up the ark of the covenant and went before the people. And Yahweh Bashem Shai said unto Joshua, this day will I, being to magnify thee in the sight of all Israel. So magnify, Joshua's going to be increased, right? His statue as a man in front of Israel was going to be high, almost like the status of Moses, that they may know that as I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. So then now we understand that now Joshua is going to be the one to be directly talking to Yahweh Shai. The Lord always had a mediator between the children of Israel. Hey, sometimes the Lord might be pulling the spirit on him and then pulling the spirit on this person, at different times. Shoot, you have Peter and Paul near each other. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord, he chose who he wanted to, right? And thou shalt command the priests that bear the ark of the covenant, saying, when ye are come to the brink of the water of Jordan, ye shall stand in the Jordan. So the priests, when they come to the brink of the water of Jordan, they shall stand in the Jordan. And Joshua said unto the children of Israel, come hither and hear the word of Yahweh Shemel Shai, your power. Joshua said, hereby ye shall know that the living God is among you, and that he will without fail drive out from before you the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Hivites and the Perizzites and the Gergesites and the Amorites and the Jebusites. Behold, the ark of the covenant of Yahweh Shemel Shai of all the earth passeth over before you in the Jordan. Now therefore take you 12 men out of the tribe of Israel, out of every tribe of man. So it was just one man out of each tribe, out of the 12 tribes of Israel. So that'd be 12 men. And it shall come to pass, as soon as the soles of the feet of the priests that bear the ark of Yahweh Shemel Shai of all the earth shall rest in the waters of Jordan, that the water of Jordan shall be cut off from the waters and come down from above. They shall stand upon the heap. And it came to pass, when the people removed from their tents to pass over Jordan, and the priests bearing the ark of the covenant before the people, and as they that bear the ark were coming to the Jordan, and the feet of the priests that bear the ark were dipped in the brim of the water, for Jordan overfloweth all his banks all the time of harvest. The waters which came down from above stood and rose up upon an heap very far from the city of Adam, that is beside Zartan, and those that came down toward the sea of the plain, even the salt sea fell and cut off, and the people passed over right against Jericho. And the priest that bare the ark of the covenant of Yahweh Shemel Shai stood firm on dry ground in the midst of Jordan, and all the Israelites passed over on dry ground, until all the people were passed clean over the Jordan. So this is something where we gonna want to remember. Then, let alone when you see the Red Sea split, then Israel was led by a pillar of cloud. So we seen the vehicles of the Most High Yahweh Shemel Shai, which we would be known as chariots, which the world ignorant want to say, or we want to say Esau want to say UFOs. Those are the vehicles of the Lord, right? So this right here, if you see, a man technically didn't do this. The Lord is the one that did it. Yes, men walked in the water and did it, but the Lord was the one that told them how it was going to happen, and this is what it's going to do. And at the end of the day, it was all the Lord. The same way with the Red Sea, Moses had to lift up the staff, but the Lord was the one that made it happen. Because to have power, the Lord has to give it to you. To be created, to have life, breathe air, your heart, the Lord has to allow you to even exist. So this is something you want to remember, because your Lord did this. Why would we want to forget our past? Right? So, Lord willing, this was edifying. It's just a short lesson, so you can understand that our past is for our learning. Anything that was told to us, for the aforetime was for our learning. You know what I'm saying? So, I'll be wrong if I don't get this for you too. This is Romans, the 15th chapter, verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. So now we get the chance to read the scriptures of what happened to our brothers and sisters, our foreign fathers. What happened in our story that's still going on. This is still a story of ours. Like, The world is going around because the Lord created it for our sakes. The Lord made it this way. Now, if I was reading Adam in the beginning and then the story went somewhere else, then I could understand. But when we really, yeah, actually, I still couldn't even understand, because whatever the Lord say, we would have to get it right and get it tight and actually follow what the Lord is saying. But for me, oh yeah, I got another verse, because ye is saying that. Right, like now, even if you're just trying to show love to his brothers and sisters, you know, he should still be watching what he's saying, man. This is Acts chapter, the 5th chapter, verse 29. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than man. So the Lord is already letting us know we should obey God rather than man. Right? Because even if the prophecies, the prophets is speaking, you got to know sometimes they were speaking to you like a regular man. Paul wasn't. The Lord allowed him. He was talking to people went the way he wanted to talk. But when the Lord wanted something to be said, something to be moved, the same way he did with Moses, he gonna have a talk with you. The Lord ain't gotta wait for you or anybody. He choose when he want to talk to you, right? But it's certain times we would just speak out our own heart, our own deep thought. Like, hey, I think you should mean this or you should do that. No, we shall obey the Lord. You should do it to the best of your ability. You might slip, but you want to get your ass back up there and have faith. You know what? I got to do better because my life depends on it. You know what I'm saying? Without knowing about our past, how can we make up for whatever we did to get here? I love y'all to the moon and ever back, man. Shalom, Kwame Yasharala.